We are in the midst of a crisis with a devastating impact upon our youth. In 1999, the Surgeon General reported that 20% of children and adolescents within the United States, or 15 million people, have a diagnosable psychiatric or developmental disorder. Unfortunately, for the last 2 decades, we have only watched these numbers grow. In December 2021, the Surgeon General issued an advisory on the youth mental health crisis, which has been magnified by the COVID-19 pandemic. But even before COVID, the mental health of our children was deteriorating. From 2009 to 2019, we witnessed a 40% increase in the number of high school students who reported pervasive feelings of sadness or hopelessness, now affecting more than 1 in 3 students. In the decade prior to COVID, we observed a 36% increase in the number of high school students seriously considering a suicide attempt, reaching 19%, and a 44% increase in the number who made a suicide plan in the prior year, totaling 16%. Between 2016 and 2020, we saw increases in childhood anxiety, 7% rise, depression, 3% rise, and behavior problems, 7% rise, coupled with decreases in daily physical activity, 24% reduction, parent or caregiver mental health, 70% reduction, coping with parenting demands, 67% reduction, and preventative medical visits, 81% reduction. Most tragically, the suicide rates among youth ages 10 to 24 years increased by 57% between 2007 and 2018, resulting in over 6,600 estimated deaths among this age group in 2020. In addition to the stressors associated with a pandemic, we suspect that the increased rates of mental illness are also, in part, due to better diagnostic procedures and better trained practitioners. Regardless of what drives these numbers, which are addressed in greater detail in the chapters that follow, we now know that most mental illness sets on early in life. Our single most comprehensive study on the matter suggests that half of all lifetime cases of mental illness begin by age 14 and 3/4 by age 24. One international meta-analysis of 192 epidemiological studies reports somewhat smaller but still alarming numbers: 35% by age 14, 48% by age 18, and 63% by age 25. Despite effective treatments for most mental disorders, however, there are typically long delays, sometimes decades, between when individuals first experience clinically significant symptoms and when they first seek and receive treatment. In fact, the median amount of time between when children first experience a psychiatric disturbance and when they first receive treatment is 9 years.